So what's up guys, LazyNeil here, and today we are going to be upgrading the SSD of the Honor Magicbook X16. Now, as you know that this laptop basically has dual SSD support. That means it has one primary one which is inside, which is 512, and then you can add another one which is up to 1 terabyte. So because of that, I have these two over here. I didn't buy these, by the way. I'm just going to try them out. If they work kind of a situation. So one of them is a 500 GB and one is a 128. Now, if you have noticed that both of them are a bit different. Now, this one is a regular SATA SSD in just a M.2 form factor, and this is a NVMe. This is a much faster one. So I hope that this one will work because this is a pretty old form factor. Like, normally the current laptops don't tend to use this, but hopefully this one works. Again, it's just a hope at the end of the day. Apart from that, what you will require to opening up this laptop itself. First of all, I would suggest to get some kind of a some kind of towel, or in this case, I'm using a microfiber cloth, basically to just to put it not on top of it, at the bottom of it, so that whenever you flip the laptop, when you flip the laptop itself, it doesn't get scratched, because again, this is not plastic. Apart from that, you will require these two. Now, this one is not technically like fully required kind of a thing, but very good to have, because again, we are going to be, if you want to just open this guy, you don't require this. And this is just a standard Phillips one. This will be required for us in our case to, remove the NVMe, the M.2. There's a screw over there. So to remove that up, we will require this one. But the main screwdriver which you require is this one. This is a Torx T5 screwdriver, and this will basically do the bulk of things. So that's basically what kind of screws are used on this laptop itself. This kind of a screwdrivers, you get it in a very any of the, whenever you buy in bulk, or any of these standard very generic screwdrivers which you get to opening up phones and stuff like that. By the way, I have like so many of them over here. Again, these are very generic ones. These are cheap AF screwdrivers, but they work. So this is just one of them which I'm using. And if you again want the specific one, it's the Torx T5. So that's about that. Also, again, this is not necessary, but I'm using a magnetic parts tray. So if you see, it sticks. This is good for organizing all of your screws, which you're going to be removing from the laptop itself while opening this up. So yeah, so that's basically that, guys. And yeah, without any further ado, let's get started. Okay guys, so I've just changed the camera angle so you guys can see a lot better while I'm opening this laptop itself. So the first thing what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be, just adding this over here. So this is, I'm just going to be keeping the laptop a little bit at the side, and just going to be putting this microfiber cloth over here. Again, you can use a towel or anything of that sort. It's just that so that you don't get the surface of the laptop itself scratched. So I'm just going to be flipping this guy, and there we go. Cool. The next thing what you require is again the Torx T5 screwdriver. Hopefully you guys see. And you need to remove all the screws itself. Again, I'm using a magnetic parts tray, and I'm going to be keeping it right over here. So yeah, let's open this up. I'm trying to keep this as organized as possible. So, at the end of the day, we don't, even when the screws are practically the same size, it's better just to be, organized in any way possible. So let's do that. Cool. Now let's remove from here. These are slightly in an angle, if you see that. I don't know if you can see any of this action because I'm literally, blocking with my hands. But yeah, they are basically in a little bit of an angle. I can just put this here and maybe put this here. Cool. And let's just remove all the other ones. So one, again, these are all in a very weird angle. Very, very weird. Cool. Two, and last two before we open up the lid itself. So let's do that. Cool. So we removed all of them, and here is all the screws itself. So I would suggest always to open the laptop up from the top side. So you can use your fingers or something, but I would suggest to, I don't know where exactly I've kept it now, but I would suggest to use something like this. Give me just 1 second. Cool. So yeah, I would suggest to use something like this to make it easy. You can even use an old debit card or credit card or any of that sort. I'm just going to be using this. And I would suggest to open this up from here, from this side itself. So hopefully you can see. So just take the pick and just do this. So see this? You can hear the snaps. Now, once this is cleared up, this will easily, just open up. So then just go from all these angles. So now let's just keep this back, and then just, yep, see, these are small clips everywhere. So we have to just remove them. It's fairly simple. Once you remove this part, again, don't force anything, by the way. Genuinely, guys, don't force anything. It will come gently as it gets. So try to remove this part, and then you can remove all the others. So just keep this. I know I didn't mention this thing in the intro, but I completely forgot about it. So let's see how it looks. So this is basically the back panel itself. And let's look at the the innards of the laptop itself. So here's the fan, by the way. For those who are asking, there's only one fan over here. Here is the current NVMe SSD, which is going to be used. Here, I guess, will be some Wi-Fi things. Now here's the speaker and some of the outputs over here and things like that. And here's where the display cable gets connected. Now, what I'm, first of all, the first thing, okay, first of all, what I'm genuinely disappointed. First of all, before I tell you the disappointing part, here, as you can see, this is 60 watt hours here. Here you go. Hopefully you guys can see that. So it's a 60 watt hour. But what I'm disappointed is that for what it looks like, okay, from, if you see, there's a lot of space. Like, like seriously, space. See this, guys, they have just added the plastic over here just to fill this up. Now, if they had priced this a little bit even higher and added a higher watt hour battery, as you see in the previous video, the battery life is not 12 hours. Okay, I don't know from where people are getting that from. I have just done a video test. Again, it's not the most perfect test, but it's the most consistent test I could have done. And with that, I got like around 6 hours 47 or something like that. But see, guys, if they could have just, added a little bit more battery over here, rather than just adding plastic, which is stupid. So what it looks like, okay, for the 16-inch is like a second class person, and basically they have just ripped things from the 14-inch and they just added it to 16-inch. It looks that way because see how much space is there, guys. Like, so first of all, let's look at where the other SSD is, and yeah, it does not look so good. You must have noticed this thing, by the way. This is the another SSD over here, and this doesn't fit because the screw itself, and that's the reason I require this one. The screw is right over here, and this does not fit. That sucks. I should have maybe checked the fine prints. There was not much mentioned, to be honest with you. I even tried contacting them from Instagram and Twitter. I know they are not the best, but I tried to contact them before opening this laptop up to see what kind of a NVMe. I didn't find it. But yeah, out later on I did, by the way. For those who are wondering why am I not so angry about this, is because I had already opened this laptop previously. And this is just like a play, you could say, to tell you that it does not support any of these kind of SSDs. Now the thing is that you need to keep in mind is these kind of SSDs are fairly cheap now, like around 2000 rupees, and this goes over here, but this will not go over here. And what the Honor team or the laptop or the Honor brand expects you is to put a very special grade of M.2 SSD, which is NVMe at the same time. By the way, this fits, if you see this here, I don't know if you can see that, but see, it does fit in. That's not the problem. The problem is the height itself. And if I put it on top of it, there's this Wi-Fi chip over here, I think, and you don't know what can happen. Like I could literally just, just clamp it kind of a thing and use it. It will work. But I would not suggest to do any of this kind of mumbo jumbo on this. So what they're expecting from you is basically to get, I'm not exactly sure if I made a mistake with the numbering. Sorry about that. I will, just correct myself. But it's an M.2 M2242 type. So if you see this is an M.2 2280 type over here. And they are expecting you to put an M.2 M2242, I think. I may be genuinely wrong on this, but that's the one. And so that one, mostly those SSDs are expensive. If you go on Amazon or any other site, you'll see the Samrith one which is there. That's for 512, it's around 10K, and you get this kind of an SSD for literally for 3K, which is ultra stupid. So yeah, I have a choice now to add this one with Jank, which I'm not going to, or I have to buy the Sabrent SSD, which I'm not going to. So I did more research on this, by the way. Again, I have already opened this laptop itself, even before making this video. And whenever I opened this laptop the first time, I was extremely angry. And I was like, why isn't this, like, dude, why couldn't you do that? There's so much of bloody space everywhere. And you couldn't fit this. Like, I was so angry. Even if they had put it like, another slot over here, just extended it and just put this over here, that would have been great. But that's not the case for this. Cool. So, so I did more research, by the way, and I did find a lead of getting it a bit cheaper, or a lot cheaper, you could say, than buying the Sabrent one. So you can go on eBay, and this is not the most fastest, but you get a Samsung NVMe in this kind of form factor, the M2242 type, for around $90 for a 1 terabyte and around $40 for the 512 variant, which is or 500 GB in this case. You can get that, and with that you can basically upgrade. Now there are some cons. Most of the smaller types are DRAM-less, so it is preferred to use them just specifically for storage. It's not that bad, but if you've seen any Linus Tech Tips video or anything, they suggest not to buy anything DRAM-less. And most of those ones, even the Sabrent, I think, I may be wrong on this, is DRAM-less because they are small form factor. So my question to Honor is pretty simple. I understand that after going through a lot of details in the specification itself, like it's very deep down. Once they explain like each and every component, that number, the M.2242, is there. But I'm like, come on, dude. First of all, you are like you're targeting the budget market. This is not the highest end market, and for that, why didn't you just put this kind of an SSD, which is really, really cheap? It's much faster, more affordable, and just works really well. So what they're expecting is that they could put a nice cheap SSD, but when we put an SSD, a dual SSD, it should be the expensive type. So yeah, it's a bit of a rant, which I'm not so happy with because I got these two SSDs, where's the other one? I'm not particularly sure now. I don't know where I put the other SSD. Yeah, here you go. So I have these two SSDs. I understood that this one would not work, but I at least expected this one would work in my case. Again, it's a 16-inch form factor. It could accommodate this anywhere, and there's so much of space, and yet they went with this puny ass SSD. which I'm really mad about. So yeah, guys, from what it looks like, so what should we take from this thing? I'm going to be making another video, by the way, adding the or buying or buying the 1 TB variant of it, so that you can finally conclude with does it support till 1 TB, and does that form factor NVMe work. So I'm going to be doing that. And also, what else I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making a video on that, but that is going to take some time because eBay shipping from China takes quite some time. So that's that. What I could do, one thing is that I could show you something. So I don't know why they added this plasticky paperish thing, which is really annoying. I tried to peel this up, by the way, when I first opened this up, and I was like, maybe there's something else, but sadly there's not. So what I'm going to be doing as a last thing, hopefully maybe it will work or not work. This is the first time, by the way, I'm trying this out. So maybe keep this over here like this, and let's see if this gets detected. I know this is not, this is something something very bad, but hopefully it's not too bad. So I just want to test if the NVMe works. So I've kept it a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see. I don't know if you can see it a lot, but let's see if the SSD shows up. Yes, the SSD does show up. If you see over here, this is my old laptop's NVMe SSD, and it does work. So it's not about the NVMe won't work or this form factor won't work. It's very hot, by the way. It's becoming very hot. I'm going to shut this down as fast as possible. So it doesn't mean that it's not going to work. It's just that you won't be able to put the screw on. And there might be some other reasons for it. And let me just put this thing a bit better. So one thing I noticed that this guy becomes fairly hot, which is not good. And yeah, let's try to put this plastic nonsense back on. I don't know why they put this thing. And yeah, so that's about that, guys. If you want to add this kind of an SSD, you have to replace your current one. And if you want to, extend as Honor claims, then you will need to buy the expensive DRAM-less slow SSD, and that's about it. So yeah, guys, that's basically it, guys. A bit disappointing. I'm sure short of it, I'm really disappointed regarding this. But again, it was mentioned in the fine prints, so I can't blame too much for them. But what I'm angry about is that it feels like they are just using the 14-inch variant on the 16-inch. It genuinely looks that way. And because of that, I'm very much disappointed. See the amount of space over here, space, and they could have easily fit a full size for the 16-inch variant. But they didn't. But they just didn't do that. So yeah, guys, so that's basically it. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.